Hello, Dr. Kavita Bajpayee. Yeah, Kavita
Yes,
ji.
I'm very much there.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Mr. Rawat, for this opportunity, and congratulations to all the delegates here, because I'm very sure with your good work you are going to you're going to encourage the whole world. And I am here on this forum because I've been following Mr. Rawat's work for past few years, and I found that he is indeed started a noble mission. And with his work, I got inspired, and I'm representing my school, the International School of Trishore, which is a new school, which is just a year old, so a baby school, but with lot of aspirations. And this is exactly what Mr. Rawat is going to coach us and guide us for the same. And today I'm here to share with you all small little practices which we have already started, and which certainly ensure us that we are guiding our young generation to the right path. So when today I talk about, so I am just going to talk about my school, and it's basically what we are doing in the school. So yeah, here we are. Can you all see that?
Yes, we are seeing it.
Yeah, okay, fine. So basically, when we talk about the COVID scenario, so we say like the education disrupted and education reimagined as a theme which has been shared with me. So I certainly would like to speak about it, like what we have been doing before COVID and what are our plans as a school to do after COVID. And certainly, we also would like to be a green school like many others who have been, presenting their good work. So when we talk about, so according to the U.S. Environmental, Protection Agency, the sustainability is basically based on a simple principle. It is called like everything that we need for our survival and well-being. It depends either directly or indirectly on our natural environment. So to pursue sustainability is to create and maintain the conditions under which human and nature can coexist. So basically, this is what our idea has been. So when we were actually doing the brainstorming while starting this school, so one thing we found, though we are in a beautiful state of India, which is Kerala, known as God's own country, which is lush green, which is known for its lush green beauty, we realized that only to be amidst beauty is not enough. What we are planning to give to our future generation, that is more important. So then when we started doing this brainstorming, we found that there is a lot of eco-anxiety which is existing. Eco-anxiety is something, it's a kind of a fear what we have for environmental damage or ecological disaster. But, it is always a good idea to move out of the anxiety and to find out the way to create the action plan. And then we came up with certain action plans, and we came up with certain ideas, where we find that, of course, we can contribute a bit, we can train our future generation for making a sustainable, for making a pleasant planet in future as well. So we divided our whole work into three parts. So the first part is what we can do inside the classroom. The second part was what we can do at a state level. And the third most important thing was what can be done at the community level. So when we talk about, the classroom level, so what happens is when there was a beautiful read I was going through, and I certainly would like to share with you people. It is the United Nations World Commission on Environment and Development states, sustainable development is development that meets the need of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. And this is exactly we found as our base on which we are trying to build upon best of the practices. So when we talk about the classroom practices, so we actually try to work upon the green lessons. Now, what is green lesson? So it's basically we encouraged our teachers, or we are encouraging our teachers researching and gathering information and resources that can lead students to making right choices and taking right actions that benefit our environment. So in our curriculum, we have involved lot many things which makes them kind of a research oriented curriculum where they do a lot of research, then they gather information and they try to figure out what is the best, what they can contribute from their end. And out of this research document, when we find, the whole world knows that 3 Rs have a major impact and a very high degree of importance when it comes to environment and sustainability. So, of course, about reduce, reuse, and recycle. So there are few ideas which we do incorporate and we do encourage for further incorporation as well in our school practices. So what we have done is we have appointed a recycling monitor as well as a recycling teacher in charge, the educator in charge, to remind the school children and the classmates of waste items in which the things can be recycled and reused. Then also we have encouraged to reduce the use of single-use plastic. So even when the parents, they visit to our school for sometimes even collect the notebooks or textbooks or stationery also, it is very clearly instructed in the circular which goes to them, the information which goes to them, that they do not have to carry the plastic bags. They have to carry the cloth bag from home or the paper bags which we have made out of newspapers. They have to carry their stuff into that. Then upcycling classroom scrap to create models, artwork, and projects. So most of 99.99% of our models and project activities are basically based upon best out of the waste activities. So this is another something which is very interesting thing, because children, then they have started learning that nothing goes waste if it has been used constructively and correctively. Of course, in our school, we do not use any toxic material. We do not use any non-biodegradable materials such as thermocol, plastics, etc. And even when we talk about the clay, which is quite an important tool when we do the teaching and learning practices for the young children, there also we avoid using the synthetic clay. Rather, we make the dough in the school. We use the, the natural colors. We use them, and this is how the process goes. Then also, we encourage our children in various classes in a waste and recycling program, which determine how much waste the school generates and where it goes. And then we get them into design a project to start or expand school-wide recycling and composting efforts. In our school, we also have dedicated to each classroom one gardening plot on which the compost area is there, where they create the compost and the manure with the, the waste which comes from the school cafeteria, etc. And then the same manure and the compost is used in the gardening. So when we talk about all these activities, so what is more important is the encouragement, what is more important is the inspiration. So what we do is, as a part of their encouragement and inspiration, we do mention their names during our, we in special assemblies. We do send the encouragement mails to their parents. We do upload their information on our school newsletter, as well as we do make the sunshine calls to their parents, like this is what your child has done, who has made maybe best out of the waste, or have contributed while recycling, while creating a project, or in the small little ways we try to encourage them, which is very, very important. So these are the activities, these are some of the activities what we do at the classroom level. Now, when we come to the school level, so there are various things what we do at a school level. Let us talk about first the infrastructure. So for our school, which is based out in Kerala, a solar panel is the main and the prime source of energy. So that is one very important thing. Second important thing is the rainwater harvesting. We have created a project in the school, and we do believe in rainwater harvesting because, of course, water is something which is very important and every drop counts. Coming to the waste management, as I said, we have created one line of action. Based upon that, first we ensure that we use minimum of the non-biodegradable items in the school, or the materials in the school, as well as whatever the biodegradable stuff is also there, we try to use them in such a way so that they are either recycled or they are reused. So there is a proper procedure for the waste management. Then we also have created the compost stations. So these are the stations which basically supply the manure and the compost to various garden, small pieces of garden which has been dedicated and allocated to each and every classroom. And there the children do farming, and it's kind of a sustainable model, you know, growing the herbs, growing the vegetables, growing the fruits, and vegetables and herbs, they give you crops very soon. So this is something which can be utilized and used in our daily school things. So that is another thing. And then comes the green teaching learning practices. So when we talk about green teaching learning practices, this as well as e-waste management, these two things are which are quite overlapping in nature. Because even when we talk about, you know, exchanging the mails, we ensure that we are not sending very heavy files, or we are using, if it is not required, then most of the time we are using low resolutions, or we are trying to, you know, manage even the exchange and communication also through mails. Though being a green school, or rather being an aspiring green school, we also try to go paperless. So definitely the digital becomes the main mode which we have to follow. But there also we follow a couple of things, like even the printouts. We try to take the minimum printouts. We try to send the minimum mails, or one mail which comprises all the information, rather than, you know, back and forth we are doing this exercise. Because there is a study which says that because of these cartridges and excessive use of printing cartridges or exchange of emails, heavy files, higher resolutions, all these things are also contributing a lot towards carbon footprint. So this is another thing which we actually try to work upon, and we feel that if it is not required, it can be avoided. There's a study which says that in 1 year, if the world's discarded printing cartridges was stacked end to end, they would circle the earth twice. So we can understand, you know, so this is my request even to all of you, and this is exactly what we tell to our children, to our parents, to our teachers, that take a moment when you're not doing anything but basking in eco anxiety. What you have to do is you have to do away with all the junk mails and the senders who do not serve any purpose to you. Try to reduce the way you are exchanging the mails. So this is how, when we bring in the green teaching and learning practices, so this is one way. It's all about the infrastructure side. When we come to the other exercises, so what we do is mostly notes we take electronically, and of course from grade 6 onwards our school is basically a digital school, so we work on the tabs. Then we also work on the reusable bags. As I said in the beginning, we do not use, or we discourage the use of single-use plastic bags. We do not do that, rather the cloth bag or the paper bag, these things work better for us. Then we also do not encourage the practice of mineral water bottles in the school, because these are another thing which actually add on to a lot of waste, and the waste management for such items, the plastic items, is not at all easy. The whole world knows about it. Then compost, as I said, from the school cafeteria, etc. Then we also have created a campus garden to grow some of our own fruits, vegetables, herbs, etc., and where the children are basically accountable for them.
So Dr. Kavita, can you sum up, please? Now we have next speaker.
You have to give me 2-3 minutes,
yes,
please.
yes.
I will maintain my 15 minutes, Mr. Rawat. Don't worry. Yeah. So then, of course, the lighting, and then we come to other things like, of course, this is one thing is very, very important, that we do not use any disposable item or the disposable cutlery or crockery in the school, as well as we avoid or we discourage the tissue paper usage also, because this, we feel that this is one thing which can be certainly curtailed at the school level, at the home level. Now, as Mr. Rawat has instructed, I have to move quicker. So I'm moving to the community level. So yes, at the community level, what is the most important is the mindfulness, to be able to think about, you know, your contribution towards your own planet, to make it livable, and to what you want to give to your future generation. So creating the social awareness programs, then reviewing lifestyles. So we do invite our parents, we do invite guest speakers, we do encourage our teachers, children, their families to attend such conferences and such programs in our school, where such activities take place. When we can review our lifestyle, we can find out what modifications we can bring to contribute little more towards the environment. Then drives such as beach cleaning, no plastics, etc. Then avoid wastage and natural resources. River cleaning is another thing which is very, very important, and this is in our plans to go ahead with. Then the most important thing is the ability and the willingness to get involved. So this is another thing which we actually encourage. We actually, try to inspire the community around. So because until unless the school, the community, everyone go hand in hand, I think the mission will not be accomplished. So when I move further, I would be just going ahead with two more quick slides, which is basically the life is changing because of the COVID-19. And what we are going to do is, even post-COVID, once we start working on ground with the school, we are going to focus, focus is continue to be on the flipped classroom, blended learning, nature pedagogies, and environment, learner and co-learner philosophy, flexibility, as well as mental and emotional wellness of everybody. So when we put everything together, we are going to ensure that we are not going to contribute further waste to the environment and to our planet. I would certainly like to speak a little more about it, maybe some other time. I will be sharing my presentation with Mr. Rawat, so maybe if possible, I can certainly talk about this. Then moving further, so there are certain negative, we always talk about the positive impact of COVID, that, the carbon emission is less, the NO2 is less, and the environment is coming back to track, the air is much cleaner. But there are quick negative impacts also. One is the increased waste, because the waste recycling units are not been able to work well because of these lockdown scenario. Then reduction in waste recycling, as I said, and also the waste has been increasing with those PP kit or the mask or disposable waste has been increased, and their management is becoming an issue. Then the wastewater treatment with increased use of chlorine, because every day a new theory is coming, and the recent theory says if more of the chlorine, the water will have less chances of having the COVID, though there are no evidences so far that the water contains COVID-19 virus, but still the theory is there. So chlorine, usage of chlorine has also increased. So these are only few which I have put up here. There are many more. So I think this is a time when we really have to sit and brainstorm and think about all these things and then move further. So in schools, post-COVID, what we can bring in, the critical thinking, communication, collaboration, and creativity, when we can actually work upon the scenario and we can see how and what best we can contribute towards the environment. And the last slide, which I feel which is very, very important, and I certainly believe a lot in it, that humankind has not woven the web of life. We are but one thread within it. Whatever we do to the web, we do to ourselves. So all things are bound together. All things connect. Let's understand and act accordingly. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Bajpai. Now I request Dr. Wafa Abdul Ghaffar, the Sheikh Zayed International Academy, Islamabad, Pakistan.
Thank you for giving me the chance to be